Hello, and welcome once again to one of my sessions. I hope you're well, hope you've had a really great week. Thought we would start standing up today, so we're going to concentrate from our ankles all the way up to our shoulders. Let's just get that alignment right first. I know that I went through it on an earlier class, but if you're diving in here, let's just readdress. So first of all, we want to make sure that our feet are facing forward, so no kind of ballet pilates going on here. So feet facing forward, and that we've got really nice soft knees. So I'll call this one out. I'm double jointed and you will sometimes see me lock my knees out. I have to constantly remind myself not to do it. And I know a few of you that come to my class have to do the same. So really nice soft knees, not locked out. That's what locking out looks like. Okay, so from here, what we want to do is just gently pull in those abdominal muscles, okay? So just gently pull those in. Not so harsh that you're really pulling that navel to the spine. We'll do that when we really need that effort, but just on our standing pose, they're gently engaged for us. Our hips are always facing forward, and some of us have a tendency either to drop a hip, or we might actually even tilt that pelvic so they slightly go up to the ceiling. We want, and we're going to work on it today, we want them to really face forward like our headlights. Our shoulders are back and down. Again, that's something I always have to watch for myself because I spend a lot of time on the computer. So back and down. And then our ears, let's just make sure that they're directly over our shoulders. So if we're jutting out our chin, they sometimes actually face up to the ceiling. It's just the point of getting them down. So shoulders back, earlobes over those shoulders, and chin gently tucked in. The next thing is making sure that we get a little bit extra length through that spine, and at the crown of the head, just imagine it's gently being pulled up to the ceiling. So that is our stance, okay? That's where we start. So from here, let's work on our ankles, and we're just going to do some little heel lifts. So not too high. And if you're a little bit like me, can you see that they tend to curl out? I'm going to reduce the range of movement. It's really interesting. When I was younger, I loved being double jointed. Everything was kind of like, look what I can do. And now as I've got older, I was 55 this year, the joint aches and pains and the lack of stability in those joints have really begun to take its toll. So if you feel like me that you begin to twist, just reduce the range of movement in those ankles. And I'm looking at a mirror here because I know that this isn't something I'm particularly strong at, and I don't want it coming over on the video wrong. So if you can go higher, you go for it, people, go for it. Okay, from here, let's just, with those shoulders back and down, let's just bring those arms in and then down and then in and down. And in fact, the more you do this, the stronger I tend to get. So it's good to do more than just a couple. Great for your calves as well. Okay. Brilliant. Let's work those knees. So we want some knee circles. Any cracking going on? Let's just get those knees on a rotation there. I went for a little jog this morning. I know I told you last week that I just started doing it. My husband actually says that I can't technically call it jogging because I actually walk faster, but I actually don't think that's the attitude. I think the very fact that I'm getting up and doing it is actually more than enough. But I do feel it in my knees. Okay, nice little knee circles, pushing that bum out behind. You'll see that today I've actually changed where I am, and I'm up against the wall, and it's because what I would love us to do is do some wall work at the end. So if you're watching this video, just be aware that there's a couple of things I need. Great if you've got a wall, couple of cushions, and also some hand weights. And if you don't have hand weights, it's absolutely fine, just get some baked bean tins or something like that, which is what I'll be using. Okay, so wide leg stance now, and we're just going to get some hip circles in. So we're working our way up, ankles knees and now hips. Pushing those hips really forward, pushing that bum to the back wall. You might even be feeling this in the back of your legs as well. Okay, one more this way, and we're going to change the direction. Okay. Now you shouldn't be feeling this in your lower back. So if you are, just slightly reduce the range of movement to something a little bit smaller. Okay, into our waist, I'm going to go back to feet hip distance apart. And what we're going to do is we're just going to do some torso twists. So just, you know, not too much of an instruction here, just hands loosely. Rotating around with you. Okay, back face forward. I'm going to step just a little bit forward so I don't hit the wall. We're just going to get those shoulders really nicely warmed up now. So what I'd like you to do is take your hands out and then just make really big circles coming forward. Really ensuring that that shoulder girdle's active. This always pulls a muscle in my face. It's really weird. Don't zoom in and check. Just, it does. And the other way. Oh, a nice big movement. And breathe. Some really nice deep breaths while you're doing this. Okay, awesome. Wrists. We've done the ankles. Let's do those wrists. Round they go. You take them together. Just do a little rotation there. And the other way. And our neck, we're just going to do a very simple side to side. So chin over to the left. And then to centre, and over to the right, and centre. Let's just do a few of those. Happy for you to do that in your own time. Awesome, so that's all those joints having a little bit of a rotation there. We're going to do a roll down. I'm going to do it side on. This time we're actually going to take our hands behind us. So take those shoulder blades back and down, okay? Create some space between that left and right shoulder. Make sure your knees are nice and soft. And then with the head leading, the chin is just going to tuck to the chest. The rib cage then is following, the chest is following, the crown of the head is leading us down to the floor. And as we do this, the hands are following behind us. So you're going to go just as far as is comfortable for you. Pause. And because I want to make sure that there's not any stress and tension in the shoulders, just release that neck again. So you can do sort of circles. You can do a yes and no. But just so that we haven't hunched those shoulders. And if you can, just see how far you can get those hands towards your head. Don't overstretch it, just go as far as is right for you. Okay, here I want you to take a really big breath in. And on the exhale, we're going to come up. So the abs are going to engage. They are pulling you up. And vertebra by vertebra of the back, just imagine very slowly each vertebra is stacking on top of the one below. The crown of the head stays down. So you should now kind of be looking at your navel.
My arms are naturally coming back behind my back, pulling back those shoulders, keeping those abdomen muscles in. The last thing that comes up is my head, and I'm not going to jut my chin out. Let's do a couple more of these. So deep breath in to prepare. On that exhale, the chin goes to chest and the head begins to roll down. 7 lovely muscles in the neck begin to follow. The torso is now working its way over the abdomen, so that chest is working its way over the abdomen. Keeping your knees nice and soft, don't lock them out. The head, which is heavy, is leading this, taking us towards the floor, and the arms automatically come up behind us. Just see if you can actually press them a little bit more towards your head. Deep breath here. Oh, nice little yes and no of that neck so that there's no tension being held there. So really release that neck. Okay. From here, just check that your feet are in the right position, so you might just need to make sure that they are straight. Great. And then deep breath in to prepare. And on the exhale, the head is going to be the last thing that comes up. The abdomen is what's pulling us up, okay? As one vertebra at a time is stacked back on top of the spine. Keep that crown of the head down. The arms are pulling down those shoulders, stacking that middle back. Shoulders down, 7 little muscles in the neck. Come up. Okay, one more time. So just adjust your hands if they're not comfortable, pulling those shoulders back and down. Deep breath in to prepare. And on the exhale, nodding that chin to chest. The neck is bowing down, the shoulders are following, the chest is coming over the abdomen. Slowly that back bend is taking you further down towards the floor, and your arms naturally float up behind you, just seeing if they can press a little bit more towards the head, just for that stretch there. And let's take a couple of deep breaths here. Can you pull your hands further up to the ceiling? And just notice where you're feeling this. Is it in the upper arms? Is it in the armpits? Is it across the top of the shoulders? Just release that neck. And then, deep breath in. On the exhale, you engage those abdomen muscles. They are now pulling you up. They're also using those pelvic floor muscles as well. Slowly but surely, one vertebra stacking on top of another. Up you come to that standing position. Draw those shoulders back and down by pulling those hands further down your back, down into your tailbone. And the very last thing to come back is your head. Awesome, I like that one. Okay, so we're going to do some arm openers, and we're also going to be doing this lying down as well. So it'd be really great to note what you notice doing it standing up, and then the difference when we do it lying down as well. Okay, so to prepare, we're going to take our arms out in front of us. It's like we're hugging a tree, okay? So from here, one arm, I don't mind if it's your right or your left, is just going to come out to the side. And just note your ability of movement there. So mine's just behind me. And then back it comes. And then on the left, deep breath in. And on that exhale, I take that back, keeping my hips facing forward, nowhere near the range of mobility there. It just goes to, yeah, almost in line with my shoulder. Breathe that back in. Okay,
couple more on each side. So a lot more range of movement in the right, which is really strange because I'm right-handed and I also tend to put my shoulder bag on my right shoulder as well. So obviously the left is compensating somewhere along the line, because from here I'm getting a pulling here, which means if I took it back any further it's actually really uncomfortable. So just here for me, obviously, yeah, I know most people your arm's going to be like this, my elbow's out of whack, so it's kind of facing the ceiling. It was great being a kind of mini contortionist as a kid, not so great now. So much more range of movement there, you can probably see that on the camera. Just notice what the movement's like for you. Okay, bring that back, and then let's just do some shoulder shrugs back and forward. Okay, let's get onto the floor. I'm going to move my mat just a little bit away from the wall so I don't clank into it. And the first thing we're going to do is we're going to do that same exercise, but this time from a mat perspective. So in Pilates we always have a cushion. I've got a spare one because we're going to be using that later. So we always put a cushion under our heads to support our neck, so it makes sure that our neck and heads are in alignment. I want you to go onto side lying. So from here, my right hand is going to be out in front. My knees are stacked one on top of the other here, and I'm in a comfortable 90-degree position. And then my left hand is just on top of the right. I'm going to take a deep breath in, and on the exhale I'm going to lift that arm and take it back behind me. I just need to make a little bit more room actually, so I'm not crashing into that wall. You might need to adjust as well. So 90-degree angle, right hand out in front of me, left hand on top. Take a deep breath in. And on that exhale, we open up that chest. We take the hand behind us and the eye is following. And the idea is that you get the hand behind you. Now, if you can't do that, you just take it as far as you can and then come back and close. Deep breath in. Exhale, up the arm goes. So your eye is following the gaze of the hand, and the hand is leading here really. And then it goes behind if you've got that range of movement. Take a deep breath. And back it comes. Okay, we're going to do a few of these and then we're going to go over onto the other side. So deep breath in. And on the exhale, let's just repeat. And back. Do this in your own time, using your breath. So inhaling always to prepare, exhaling to do that exertion of movement. Okay. Let's go over onto that other side. So your left hand now is out in front. We're keeping our 90-degree angle. Right arm on top, take a deep breath in to prepare. And on the exhale, taking that arm back. Your hand is leading and your head and eyes are following. Let's go do a couple more. Okay gang, let's see what we're doing next. So we are doing, oh yes, we're actually going to be doing quite a lot of prep for curl ups and rolling up and building on that. So first of all, I want to show you just a different version of the curl up from what we've usually done before, but I actually think it's really great to sometimes go back to basics. So what I'd like you to do, feet hip distance apart, you're going to have your knees bent, you take your head back. Now usually we either start with our arms down the side, don't we, or we put our hands behind the head, but this time I just want you to put one hand, and I've chosen my right, behind the head, so the elbow is in your peripheral vision, so it's not so far forward that it's really in your field of vision, it's not so far back that I can't see it, so it's just there in that peripheral field of vision. My left hand, what I want you to do is ensure that you've got your hand on your tummy. Now generally when we do curl ups, everyone's almost kind of ingrained to think it's like a crunch, where we have to kind of crunch up. But with this, I want you to think of the torso lengthening. So we keep the length of the torso as we engage the abdomen muscles. So to do that, it's to ensure that your tummy doesn't pop while you're doing it as you kind of get that crunch position, if that makes sense. So I'm going to breathe in to prepare. I'm just going to get that cushion out of the way because I've got my hand here. And on the exhale, I'm going to lift up. I'm scooping that tummy and I'm not trying to get over towards my knees. I'm keeping that length here in my torso, but my tummy is flat. So just taking those shoulders up, elbow in peripheral vision, and down I go. Deep breath in to prepare. And on that exhale, really scooping that tummy, keeping that length, and down I go. Okay, just checking on myself here that I'm actually keeping that chin tucked to my chest, not jutting it out. You can feel if you make that difference actually by feeling your head move in your hand. So deep breath in to prepare. And as you exhale, lengthen that torso. So no little pot bellies going on. And actually, when we think of lengthening rather than crunching, we really do engage those abdomens in a different way. So the base of my shoulder blades are still staying on the floor. I'm lifting the top of the shoulders, the middle of the shoulders, and that little base is just staying there. Deep breath in. And on that exhale, let's just do a couple more like this. Watch that chin. Did you see how I was suddenly letting the chin lead? Okay, so let's just swap over. Okay. Deep breath in. On the exhale. No pot belly. Deep breath in. Oh, the cat's here. She has to almost come on every recording. Lengthen. Just adjusted that chin there, did you see? Pilates is really just having awareness constantly that we're doing everything right. Okay. And there we go. Now, what I'd like you to do is I'd like you to get a cushion. You're going to now put your feet together and you're going to put the cushion between your thighs. If you ever get that sciatic pain, always put the cushion between your knees. But if you're okay, keep it between your thighs, okay? So if you don't get that kind of sciatic pain, which is absolutely horrible. So feet together. We're going to just do some prep before we go into it. I've got an extra cushion here as well. You might need to take one. So I'm going to bring my feet just a little bit closer in. I want to show you something. I hope this works because it's such a subtle move. But what I want to do is we're going to go and do some bridge and some curl up work while squeezing a cushion. But I want us to make sure that we're just using the abdomen muscles, and what we're not doing is making it easier by tilting our pelvis when we're squeezing. So I just want you to try something for me. And it's so small you might not see it on the camera, but I'm going to try my very, very best. Put your hand just into the small of your back. Now, if you squeeze this cushion without tilting the pelvis, there should be no pressure on that hand whatsoever. But if, to enable you to really squeeze that and engage your abs, if you're overcompensating your abs with your pelvis, what happens is you begin to tilt. And I know I do that sometimes when I'm tired and I'm doing sit-ups. So what will happen then is you'll feel the pressure on your hand. So just do that for me. First of all, just squeeze that cushion as much as you can. Notice that there's hardly any pressure on the hand. But as soon as you begin to even tiny tilt, so this is where I want to show you. When I'm not tilting my pelvis, the bum is really flat on the floor. But as soon as I get a little bit tired and I just begin to engage these hip flexors here, and that tilt is enabling me to kind of take the pressure off my abs. Can you see how my bum's come off the floor? So it's so tiny, and it's just bringing that awareness. And I know sometimes when I'm doing 100s, I will begin to almost do an exaggerated pelvic tilt going on there. So bring your awareness to that as soon as you notice that you've actually stopped engaging your abs as much, and what you're doing is you're just tilting the pelvis to kind of ease the pressure. Just take a break, okay? So this is what we're going to do, gang. We are going to keep our feet together and we're going to roll up into our spine curl or bridge. And I'll on these recordings I call it bridge because that's to a wider audience, but you know that when I've got my ladies in my class, we call it the spine curl in Pilates. So we're going to take a deep breath in. Firstly, for bridge, we're actually going to do that pelvic tilt. So you'll see that the bottom is coming off the mat. Then we're going to peel each spine, so starting at the tailbone, okay, keeping the middle back onto the floor until it's turned to lift. Then lifting up the shoulders, keeping that rib cage down, okay. So from here, take a deep breath, and we're going to squeeze for 10.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. From here, slowly, but in reverse, the vertebra goes back onto the floor. So the last thing that goes back down into neutral is that tummy. This is where I don't want you to kick in the pelvic tilt. So from here, you're going to take a deep breath. You're going to nod the chin to chest as you come up, and this bottom stays on the floor. So you don't make that movement to enable that movement. So that's the movements we're going to do. Let's do it for 4 or 5 times. Okay, deep breath in. On that exhale, pelvic tilt, slowly but surely, keeping this lovely rib cage down, and knees are going forward. Squeeze that pillow for 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Slowly, each vertebra going down. The last thing to return is that bottom, and then you nod the chin to chest, keeping that bottom down. Come up into a curl up position, return, and deep breath in. On that exhale, that spine curls. And squeeze. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Stay there for a minute. Just watch your bottom. Could you have got a little bit more height there? Yes, look how much I could. Okay, have that awareness as you roll down. You know what you're going to be aiming for the next time that we do it. As soon as that bottom hits the floor, deep breath in. On the exhale, nod that chin to chest. Keep that bottom on the floor as you come up into your curl up. Down you go, deep breath. On the exhale, tilt that pelvic, up you go. Ribs flat, down. So not this, that. Squeeze. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Check your height. 9, 10. Can you give me a little bit more? I'm sure you can. On your way down. Okay, bum hits the mat. Deep breath in. And into the curl up. Oh, look at me. Almost did it there. So yeah, really keeping that bottom, because as soon as we get tired, our body will try and find ways for us to compensate. Okay, just check your position. Have you changed? You just need to get a little bit more comfortable. We're going to do 2 more. So, deep breath in. On the exhale, tilt. Okay, up you go. And really do try and think of lower back, middle back, and then that's shoulders. Be comfortable on your neck. Check that rib cage. Have you got great height? Are you ready to squeeze? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Down we go. Really in 3 parts now. So those vertebrae between my shoulders, going into my middle back. The last thing that hits is my tailbone. Then my bottom's flat on the floor. Deep breath in, chin to chest, bottom stays on floor. There's our curl up. Okay, awesome. Up we come. Let's see what we're doing next. Oh yes. Okay, so we have to do our obliques. So I know that we haven't done them for a while. So we're going to work on either side. And again, I want you to imagine, when we were doing that curl up, and I was saying, it's not about crunching, it's actually about getting that length, which is the kind of like the imagery that I kind of want you to imagine. It's exactly the same for the oblique. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get you to put one hand on your tummy and the other behind your head.
Okay, feet hip distance apart. Okay, I can't see it, but your toes should be facing forward, and I think mine are, so they feel like they are. So on the breath, in to prepare. On the exhale, that little chin tucks to the chest. I haven't popped my belly. Now the movement is really tiny. It's being led not from the elbow but from the shoulder. So it's the shoulder that's coming to the opposite knee. So shoulder to the opposite knee. Shoulder to opposite knee. And you can just breathe in this really naturally. Take that elbow back if you feel that it's straining you forward. So shoulder is trying to meet that knee. And down. Let's just swap over. Okay. Hand just on the tummy, just so you can make sure that it's not popping. Okay, and also you'll see straight away if you rock onto that that lower back. So keep that nice natural little curve there. I can get my hands there. Some of you probably can as well. So elbow in peripheral vision. Deep breath in. On the exhale, up we come, nodding that chin to chest. So from here, you should be absolutely in alignment with your knees. We're going to slowly turn, and it is the shoulder that is trying to reach the opposite knee. Keeping that tummy flat. So reaching over. Pull that elbow back if it feels like it's trying to pull you, because as soon as you do that, you've kind of changed what we're trying to work. This is deep into that side now. I can feel it. Okay, and then down. From here, both hands are going behind the head. We're going to nod our chin to chest. Up we come. Taking the left hand to the right knee and back. Right hand to the left knee and back. So we're not going to go down between the moves. We're staying up. And again, we're not throwing ourselves and twisting side to side. It is a little lift. Now I've just had to check, have I started going down a little bit in the middle? If you can, get that height back up. Pull that tummy in. Over. Over. Tummy in. Over. Couple more. Over. Just check. Up a bit more. Over, over, and down. Okay, hug, just a little rock, just for a moment. Okay, what I'd like you to do now is just put your feet firmly on the mat, making sure that you are hip distance apart. Okay, we're getting ready for our hundreds. So, nice and comfortable. There's 3 ways of doing this. You can either keep your feet on the mat, you can bring them up to here, or you can take them out in front of you with the feet apart, okay? It's a great exercise whichever way you do it. And in fact, even if this is difficult, you can actually do it with your legs long as well, so that if you really are struggling with that 100, legs out, chin to chest, should I say, and we do the movement from here or here. Okay, so deep breath in. On the exhale, you are going to nod your chin to the chest, really hollow out this tummy. From here, you can get your arms into a really strong position. So it's not passive, it's really strong. And I've always been told, imagine like a little ping pong ball in between your torso. So you get almost like a C shape. Now, I'm going to today, because I know I've demonstrated the last time we did this, the beginner's one, I'm slightly going to raise my toes so I can see them. My gaze is to my knees as we go. 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Keep curling up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Keep breathing. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We're halfway. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Down we go. Okay, not going to rest for long. So what I'd really like you to do now is have your legs almost at a 90-degree angles, but can you have your toes so you see them? So if you're in true 90, you wouldn't be able to see your toes. I want you to just raise them so you can see your feet. What you're going to do is have your hands behind you, but beside you is what I mean to say. So your hands beside you, so the arms down. You are going to nod the chin to chest, and as you do that, the legs go out in front, okay? And then from there, as your head goes to the floor, your knees come back in towards you. So let me show you what you're going to do with your arms. It's that classic 100 pose. So deep breath in. On the exhale, you nod that chin to chest. The legs and feet go out in front of you, and the arms just glide up gracefully. Okay, tummy down. And return. Breathe in to prepare. And one more. And hug those knees into the chest. And I like to pull them into my armpits so you can give them a little bit of space here. It's actually great for your inner thighs too, after all that cushion squeezing that we've been doing. Okay, let's do a little bit of balance here. So we're going to sit up, so back nice and straight, and what I'd really like you to do is just bring the feet in and come to a point. Just hold your knees for now. So just find your balance point where your back is nice and straight. Okay, from here, you're going to take your feet and you're going to take them up. So keeping that back straight. My gaze is forward, legs nice and straight, and then 1, tap, 2, tap, 1, tap, 2, tap. Now what I'd like you to do is just check that you haven't jutted your chin out, okay? That in this position, You're keeping your balance on that tailbone, legs nice and straight, back straight. Perfect, now both together. Back nice and straight. Up we go. Ooh, creaking of old knees there. Okay. Breathe. Down we go. Now, we need to do some arms because we haven't done arms for ages. So what I'd like you to get, if you've got hand weights, great. If you haven't, you know what, tins of canned food is absolutely brilliant. So we're going to do some fly, we're going to do some swimming, and we're also going to do some overhead as well. So down we go onto our backs. You're going to keep your feet on the floor and you're going to keep your knees sort of hip distance apart. You're going to take the cans above you with your palms facing inwards, and from here on that deep breath and out they go. So these are just a little bit light for me, I have to say. But if you've got hand weights at home, then use them. But really, kind of necessity is the mother of invention, isn't it? So when we're kind of in lockdown, we have to just grab what we've got. I'm just going to move that cushion out of the way. I'm aware that you're probably not taking any notice of me and you're all now looking at the cat who seems to have put herself in prime position of the camera. I might make her an Instagram style or something. Okay. So keeping that tummy in. Now, this is when we begin to tire, even though we're using quite light weights. So it's here that we really need to be aware of our shoulders, our wrists. And we just keep squeezing up, down. Exhale, up we go, and down. Exhale. Take a breath. Exhale. Okay. I want you to take a rest just here, but keeping those arms up, so really keeping those hands engaged, okay? Brilliant. And then from here, let's just do a few more. It's Sunday morning in this house and I thought, you know what, it's always a really good day to do this filming because it's all nice and quiet. I don't know if you heard, but it's actually been like Piccadilly Circus. I've had about 2 deliveries. My husband's not DIYing this week, so at least we don't have that noise. Take a break. And one more set. Nice and wide. One more. Alrighty, so we're going to do swimming now. So what I'd like you to do is hold the cans by your side. That's going to be in our starting position. Now I want you to then take your right arm behind your head and the can is now facing the ceiling, okay? And in your left hand, the can is facing the floor. Okay, you're going to take a deep breath in, and I want you to imagine you're just swimming through water as you take the arms back in that swimming motion. Now just make sure while you're breathing in and out, you haven't popped your belly. And again, I can notice here that I'm tighter on my left shoulder than I am of my right. So if you're getting any twinges or any pains in any of your shoulders, just lose the weights. Okay, couple more. Okay, weights out in front of you. So what I want you to do now is I want you to take the cans to face you. So I can see the ring pulls, that's what I'm looking at. Okay, and then from here, what I want you to do is just take them behind your head and back, behind you and back, behind and back. And again, seeing now if you can just extend how far you're taking them behind your head, keeping those tummy muscles down. Okay. Couple more. Lose one can, and with the other one, just take it with both hands, and this time do exactly that same movement. This is really effective if you do use actually a heavier weight, but saying that, just this movement in the shoulders, which is so tiny, is still a really great movement. Try to squeeze my elbows in, which I know probably doesn't look like what yours looks like, because my elbows have a way of scooting out left, right and centre. Okay, one more. Awesome. Right, gang, what were we going to do? We've done loads. So we have done standing arm openers that went onto mat arm openers. We did our curl up with a hand on the tummy. We've done our obliques. We did our pillow squeeze and just checking that with our hand. We have done our pillow squeeze from bridge to curl up. We've done our simple leg stretch. Oh no, this is a great one. Okay, can't believe I forgot this one. Can't believe I forgot this one. I'm menopausal, I can't believe I remember anything. So, okay, what I want you to do is just bash those legs down on the floor for a minute. Okay, and then take your right leg and just scoot it into the side of your left thigh. But your torso is still going to stay straight ahead of you. Okay, from here, you're going to twist over to that right foot first and then just come over. If you can touch the toes, brilliant. Now I want you to feel what that feels like when you've twisted to come over that right leg. So now come up, put the torso back central, because what I want you to do is not twist. So if you've got a tendency to kind of like move those hips, I want you to think of like concrete knickers now. You're not going to move at all from the waist down, because what I want you to actually do is imagine you've got like a beach ball and you're just going to come over it. You might want to just take that knee a little bit further down to the side. Can you come forward a little bit more? And then up you come. Okay, drop those arms. Nice deep breath. Take out the beach ball and come over, right over the front. Can that knee come down a little bit more? And up you come. Just going to swap over there. So, I've now got my left foot tucked into that right thigh. First of all, I just want to feel what it's like with the twist. So I'm literally going to twist my torso and come over to that right hand side. And here you can really feel a stretch in this left hip. But I actually want to keep my torso straight. So, as I come up, I've got a nice beach ball. I want to imagine I'm just rolling that beach ball forward. Got a lot more mobility this side. The knee goes down to the floor straight away. And breathe. And up we come. Okay. Putting those tummy muscles in. Deep breath in. And rolling my beach ball forward and onto the floor. Keeping my gaze down, keeping that chin tucked in. Up I come. Let's just do one more of those, because I really like it. Forward and over. Up we come. Alrighty. A little bit of a challenge for the last one before we do some really lovely relaxation exercises, which is why we want the wall. So, with a little bit of momentum, from the feet on the floor, you're going to take your feet over your head. Okay, so keeping your t-shirt sort of down and supporting that lower back. And from here, we're going to do that classic Pilates moves of scissors, but with actually the legs over our heads. And breathe. And breathe. And you might want to tuck your elbows in a little bit more, just to support that lower back. Couple more. And very gracefully, legs up, take the knees into the face. From here, gently roll back to the floor. So take our mat as close to the wall as you can. This is not going to look very dignified, so I do apologise. You're going to take your legs up against the wall. Now the best way to do this is that if you go side lying on, and then, move that out of the way, and then take your legs up, and then scoot your bottom as close as you can. So, from here, I want you to just slide your legs as far apart as you possibly can. I really want you to challenge the muscles here. This is what it's for. The wall's going to support you, but it is a strong stretch. I know I said it's relaxing, and it kind of is. And just take some breaths. Can you challenge yourself a little bit more now you've got to it? Can you do the splits up against the wall? Oh, I'd be so jealous if you could. I'd love to be able to do that. Okay, bring them back up so you've got like a V, and I want you to circle by keeping the heels of your feet on the floor. Circle the ankles. Do make sure you've got clean feet. I have been told off before for leaving marks on the wall. Okay, and the other way around. And really make them, because you've got the wall, really make them big circles. Okay, now bring the feet together and push the bottom against the skirting board as much as you can, and arch the toes towards your face. Take some deep breaths there. Just pop the feet against the wall, so you're in a 90 degree, and I want you to do like an assisted bridge. So really pressing against that wall. Down you come, and push that bottom against that skirting board. If you can, if you're that close to it. Let's do one more of these. So push into your feet as you raise those hips up. And if you need to, you can just hold your hips there. But if not, just keep the hands on the floor. And down we come. Oh, that's so nice on the lower back. Suddenly get your back on the floor. And in any which way you can, come back to sitting. So, that's just another few exercises to get you over the line on another lockdown week. I'm really hoping that where I do my classes, which is at the Good Shepherd, which is such a beautifully massive hall, that I'm going to be able to start opening those classes back up again to 6 people at a time, which is great because I only have small classes anyway. I generally have 12 ladies max, 10 to 12. So if you're interested, do message me. It would be really great to start doing this with real human beings again. But in the meantime, thank you. Take care and enjoy. Bye-bye.